Is Russia taking over Africa, or are African nations doing the right thing? What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for stopping by. I know lots of you miss me. Yes, I missed you too. Thank you. This is your first time, you're welcome. This is our show. My name is Zack. Thank you very much. We like you here. We want you here. You want to know about the motherland? You are at the right place. Here we talk about most of the countries. I don't know which one it is. Ghana, Uganda, Tanzania, we're going to talk about it. Mali, Zimbabwe, Somalia, South Africa, we're going to talk about it. Any country, everywhere. We also touch up on the diaspora, United States of America, our brothers over there. We see you. In the Caribbean, we salute you. In the UK, we see you. Many of us are all over the place. We want big family. Let nobody lie to you, okay? In Africa, we like you. We want you to come. Come to the motherlands. Come experience. Don't listen to the naysayers, all these other people telling you stories about I went to Africa, or these Africans, they just treated us. Nah. Don't listen to them. Their experience is not yours. And whatever they did, they will not tell you. Okay? They only start the story where they were wrong. Have you noticed this? People tell you stories about their negative experience based on what was done to them. They never mention what they do to others to get what they did get. They don't talk about that part. So don't listen to it, okay? We listen to many things online. Yeah, both sides. We hear stories, people saying African Americans don't like Africans and all that stuff. No, that was his experience. Are there African Americans that don't like Africans? Yes, there are. Do we give a continental about them? We don't, because we know for sure that our brothers out there are waiting for us and they want to be with us. And we experience them when we meet them. So your experience, negative, you keep it to yourself. We don't export it to others. Okay, thank you very much. We're going to start this. Before we start, let's all do this. Can I please ask you to do this? It costs you nothing. It makes us feel appreciated. Thank you very much. Let's go. We are in Sierra Leone. Yes, Sierra Leone. Big country, lovely place. Well, Sierra Leone has been through the most. It's been through wars and devastation. People unaliving each other. I know it's very, very sad. That's something we can do to each other. It was bad. But the country's been blessed with so much diamond. Have you watched that movie, Blood Diamond, with that guy, stealing a diamond in an African country? Yes, those are Sierra Leone, Liberia, Sierra Leone. That's where it is. A lot of diamonds, but yeah, a lot of mayhem as well. Now, Sierra Leone is picking up the nose, making things positive. In Sierra Leone, here's the map, as you can see. Sierra Leone government has now signed an agreement with the Russians, okay, to develop their fishing operators. Congratulations. Pigama coffee, yeah. Pigama coffee, baby girl, baby boy. Yeah, we always gonna Pigama coffee here. Pigama coffee means clap your hand in Swahili. Swahili is the most spoken language in Africa. All these countries are here. Burundi, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and a lot in DRC. They speak Swahili. Yeah, their Swahilis, yeah, it's a little bit different one from the other, but they can understand each other with a little bit of patience. So maybe that's an opportunity for all of us to learn Swahili. There you go. Sierra Leone signed a contract, the agreement with the Russians. What they're going to do basically is scientists for both countries have conducted marine biology research to assess the biomass, to look into the water, see how much fish are out there, how much opportunities do you find here. So basically the Russians are going to bring their fleet into Sierra Leone waters and exploit. They will get fish, they will get whatever they're looking for. And in return, what is Sierra Leone gaining from this? Obviously, Russia is going to develop Sierra Leone port. You know what the ports are? This is a port, you can see. When you get all the containers coming from China to the land, you need a port for that. You need machines for that. You need training instruments. Russians are going to provide that for Sierra Leone. As you can see, Sierra Leone is right next to the sea. And countries next to the sea get great opportunities if they have a good functional port. If they don't, then that's a wasted opportunity. Because if you have a port, then when things come from other countries, they can traverse your country into the motherland. You see these countries here like Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, they're all inland countries. They have no border to the sea. And the border to the sea is very important because, when you import things coming from a foreign country like China, let's say you want to bring in tomatoes, I'm just finding a stupid example from China, or iron. You have two ways to bring them. You either bring them from airplanes, okay, which is going to cost obviously a lot more money and very difficult and very limited in terms of amount of things you can bring. at one go, or you can bring via water, the sea, which is obviously more comfortable. You can use a bigger ship, a lot of containers and much things. Now, countries like Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have no border to the sea. Therefore, when they decided to free themselves, all these other countries you can see on the map, you see all these countries, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo, Benin, all that. Some of these countries were not happy with Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, and they decided to blackmail them by blocking the access to the port, basically. Now, when a country like Sierra Leone has a, entry to the sea, it's great because then they'll open a door to many other countries that cannot have access. That's good business for them. So the Russians are going to come, get the fish from the water, but build the port. They're also going to develop the fleet of Sierra Leone ships, basically bringing new ships and boats. Okay. And number 3, they're going to invest into coastal refrigeration system, because you need that. When you fish, you need to keep them cold so they don't rot. So the Russians are very much involved right now into African countries. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I want you to let me know how you feel about that. So the Kremlin has declared trying to strengthen relationship with many African countries. Right now, they've opened many, embassies in African nations, trying to develop relationship with Africans. As you know, Africans, for some reason, tend to like Russia. Some people say it's because Russia never colonized Africa. Russia never came to Africa to try to loot and steal and stuff like Europeans did when they came to Africa. Also, Russia helped many African nations to fight against colonialism by providing them with training, sometimes with weapons, like the ANC of South Africa were trained and sometimes equipped by the Russians. In Angola, they were trained and equipped by the Russians. One would think because they're white, they would necessarily support other white people going to loot an African country. That was not the case of the Russians. That's one of the many reasons why many African people like Russia. Now, Russia's done many things. Recently, they've gone into collaboration with Congo Brazzaville. September 2024, Russia and Republic of Congo signed an over-governmental agreement to build petroleum products pipeline between Pointe-Noire and the main city, Brazzaville. Look at Pointe-Noire, this is Pointe-Noire, and Brazzaville. So basically, the Russians are going to build a pipeline, from Pointe-Noire to Brazzaville. The pipeline for what? For oil. The oil is found in Pointe-Noire. The oil is thick. But every time people from Congo Brazzaville needs to extract the oil, they have to put them into trucks, these oil containers to drive into Brazzaville where they're going to, get the stuff processed. Now, it's been very difficult because the road is long. Sometimes they have potholes. Sometimes they have breakdowns, and it becomes very unpredictable. So they want to create a system where they can actually just pump the oil quickly. You know how much oil you're getting by 5 o'clock. So the Russians are going to install the pipelines, help the Congolese from Brazzaville to do that. I know you're very confused. There are two types of Congo, 2 Congos. Here's Congo Brazzaville and Congo Kinshasa, which is called DRC. Congo Brazzaville again, this is Congo Kinshasa. I mean, these people used to be the same people long time ago, until the colonialists came in 1984 in Africa and separated. The French say, okay, this side is going to be Congo Brazzaville, it's ours. We're going to colonize it. And the king of the Belgian, this man right here, the most genocidal man in humanity, he unalived about 16 million people when he came into Africa, took DRC and call it Congo DRC or whatever. Yeah, but they speak the very same language, Lingala, between these two cities. You see here, Kinshasa, and this is Brazzaville. These are the 2 closest capitals in the world. So literally when somebody stands in Kinshasa at night, they can see Brazzaville. Someone from Brazzaville can look at Kinshasa at night, they can see Kinshasa. What separates the 2 capitals is it's a river called Congo. You can see this big river here? This big river separates them. But it's the same people. They speak the same language here and there. But if they meet each other, they don't like each other for some reason. Stupid stuff. You have no idea. It's crazy. They fight one another on who is the real Congolese. We are the real Congolese, not you. That's how stupid it is. Matter of fact, the real kingdom of Congo was not even these countries. It was a part of each country plus Angola. Look at the kingdom of Congo on the map. You see? Interesting. So anyway, the Congolese of Brazza are also working with the Russians. And I hope peace comes among these 2 Congolese countries and they can like each other. So the pipeline obviously is going to be installed by the Russians. They're going to run it. They're going to train the Congolese, but after 25 years, they're going to give it back to the Congolese people. So it's going to be for them. And obviously the contract, that's a little bit. And also Mali, you see Mali here. Here's Mali. Mali is also working with Russians right now. Okay. The Malian government agreed to expand the cooperation to peaceful use of nuclear energy with the Russians. Okay, the deal with the Russian state nuclear power firm covers infrastructure development, joint project in healthcare, agriculture, and the training of specialists from West African countries. So that basically means the Russians are coming to Africa to not only install and create, they're going to train the African people to know how to run stuff. Unlike what the French used to do. So France also colonized Mali, they colonized Congo, they colonized Burkina Faso. They built things in Africa, but they never trained the Africans how to run the things. Basically, if you chase us away, your stuff are falling on the ground. Nobody can fix it. Now, the agreement with the Russians is you are coming to Sierra Leone, build the port, build the fleet, but you're going to train us on how to build the port and the fleet and how to maintain stuff. You are coming to Brazzaville, build the pipeline and all the stuff. You're going to train us how to run the pipelines. You are coming to Mali, build the solar plant for electricity. You are going to teach our people how to run it when you're not available. So it's not a blind thing. Is this a wrong or right thing? Is this an opportunity to say Russians are the good people? You need to go to the Russians and blindly accept everything? Absolutely not. I don't think so. You can't run one colonizer to go to the other. You must be smart, learn from each, and then be, be able to run your own things. I mean, Russia also in October signed a contract with Burkina Faso, an agreement with Rosatom to construct a nuclear plant, following a request made by Ibrahim Traoré directly to the Russian president. You remember this clip here when Traoré was speaking to the Russian president? He asked him, please come to my country, come create this nuclear plant possibility, come teach our people how to run these things.
And we understand that apart from defense and security, there is another essential field, which is science and education, and we would like to see Russia assisting us in training and educating our youth to help us to develop our own industries, our own enterprises, machinery, other types of manufacturing, because it's very important for Africa.
Straight to the point, not beating around the bush. I mean, leaders are different. Some leaders come into power, they become like movie stars. They take care of themselves and their families. That's Africa for you. It's crazy. Some leaders come like Ibrahim Traoré, they come for the people. They want the people to be better. And other leaders hate them for that. It's crazy. Like the leaders in Kenya hated Ibrahim Traoré. Look at this guy.
I followed, you said something that got my attention about Captain Ibrahim Traoré. I used to also fall for his hype. Like many people fall on TikTok. I saw another journalist another time saying, oh, did you see the way he was cheered when he arrived for the inauguration of the Ghanaian new president, Mr. Speaker? And I was excited like most people. Until I did some further research about what is exactly going on in Burkina Faso. And I want to challenge Senator Ledama to do the same, perhaps counter-check Senator Ledama. The things that you read online and the reality on ground, as Kenyans say. And I was shocked actually to learn that despite all this hype and the things that we read about, the things that they are doing, first of all, I am not a fan of coups. I am a firm believer in democracy. I strongly believe that if there were lesser coups in Africa and more transitions by the ballot, Africa will advance better than it is doing through coups and by the power of the bullet. For that reason, I am not a big fan of that particular gentleman.
You can see this is a pure hate, pure jealousy. Like, I also used to think he was a smart guy, but until I did my research, like other people cannot do their own research. Like, I'm the smart guy, you're not smart. I did my research. I can see he's not all that. I mean, he might not be all that, no doubt about that, but what he's doing right now for his country in terms of construction, infrastructure, hospitals, road, industry, autonomy, it's out of this world. This is, you need to give him props for that, at least. You can't say, I used to think he was a, what I mean. Anyway, that's what it is. And Gabon, here's Gabon. You can see Gabon, beautiful place, lovely people. Suggest you go see Gabon. Gabon, basically, I don't know what's going to happen with them. They canceled the agreement with the Europeans. They used to have an agreement in terms of fishery. European Union ships will go to Gabon and go get fish. And what happened was they abused. They will just fish blindly, take everything and destroy all the stuff that's in there. Unlike in Europe, they will come to Africa and fish blindly. And the Gabonese government is not happy. On June 4th, 2025, Gabon's Council of Ministers approved a decision to unilaterally terminate the Sustainable Fishery Partnership Agreement with the European Union. Why? Unequal financial benefit. Gabon claims that EU financial contribution didn't reflect the real value of catches, nor cover the cost of monitoring and enforcement. So basically, the Europeans came to Africa, they made promises to Gabon, we're going to build this, we're going to fix that, we're going to create employment in Gabon, provided we fish in your waters. They fished, they took the stuff back to Europe. They never processed the fish in Gabon. They didn't create industries in Gabon to process the fish. They took it to Europe. They said they're going to create jobs. They didn't do that. So Gabon said, you know what, thank you very much. You did that with the previous president. It ain't going to happen with me. Gabon's got a brand new president, this guy here, Olingi. It's a soldier. He used to be a presidential guard of the ex-president. Look at him here. The guard of the ex-president. So before him used to be Bongo, Ali Bongo. And before Ali Bongo used to be Ali Bongo's father, Omar Bongo. And Oligui used to be the bodyguard of Omar Bongo. And when Omar Bongo stayed in power for like 40 years, he let his son become president. That's what some African countries do, crazy stuff. And when his son took power, he was so sick, he still wanted to stay in power. Look at him here. He can barely walk, but he wanted to stay president. Then his father's guard said, you know what? I'm taking over the power. Okay, it's not going to happen here. No, not anymore. We're done. Okay, now, people are fighting him, saying he's a pro-France guy. Yes, he truly is a friend of the French because France did not condemn him taking power by force, unlike what they did with Ibrahim Traoré and Mali and Burkina Faso. With him, they stayed quiet because obviously they're talking to each other. But does that mean he's a bad guy? Well, time will tell us. And now we're going to Kenya. Yeah, fellas. In Kenya, negative things have happened. We need to talk about this. At least 16 people were unalive in Kenya in recent days during the nationwide protest against the police brutality. Basically, the Kenyans are very angry because of police brutality. And more than 400 people were wounded, including journalists, police officers, and stuff like that. Now, I'm not going to dive into this. Basically, there was a march in Kenya. People were not happy. Why? Last year, people came down the street protesting against a bill. Okay, it's a financial bill 2024. This financial bill basically says we're going to tax most of the things because governments need money. Bread will be taxed, period pad will be taxed, so you pay the price and the tax. Cancer treatment will be taxed, so you pay the cancer treatment and the tax. Many of the essential goods will be taxed. Why? Because governments need money. Why do governments need money? Because governments misspend some of the money into things they were not supposed to be spending it on. Therefore, now they need money after borrowing from China and other institutions. The people need to bring the money. Now, the people say we don't have jobs. We didn't get no raise. So why are we paying more money? We're still suffering. No, we're not going to accept this. So people went to the street fighting that. President Ruto back in time said, okay, I see this. Many people have been unalive. The Kenyan people have spoken. They don't want this. Therefore, I also am cancelling.
Consequently, having reflected on the continuing conversation around the content of the Finance Bill 2024 and listening keenly to the people of Kenya who have said loudly that they want nothing to do with this Finance Bill 2024, I concede, and therefore I will not sign the 2024 Finance Bill.
He said he's cancelling this. But number one, people that were arrested were still arrested. They didn't release them. Number two, they still followed up and arrested other people after the president said, I have listened to the people. Like this lady right here, who's a computer programmer. She was arrested after the president said, it's okay, everything is cool. So he didn't really say it's okay because he meant it. Can we say that? I don't know. Because if you say it's okay, it means it's okay. I've listened, I've heard, but it's still arrested people. Now, 1 year later, people come in the street. Okay, why the lady was arrested? She was arrested because she created an app that allowed people to communicate directly with Parliament, to voice themselves. So they didn't like that. Now, 1 year later, people went to the street to celebrate their claims a year before, okay, and to remember the people that fell, those soldiers, those civilians, obviously, that fell fighting. Now, they went to the streets. It was supposed to be peaceful. It became violence. Unfortunately, some people started looting because it's crazy, and it went south. Now, many TVs were there filming to see what's happening live. They were broadcasting. They were told to stop broadcasting live. Now, the question emerged again, why do you ask people to stop broadcasting live when civilians are fighting the police? If you don't have any bad intention, right? If you're going to do your job based on the Constitution, why would you say stop broadcasting live unless you have some other intentions? Well, some of these channels continued, but then later on they were cut off air. They were forced to broadcast via internet. Now, many other people were unalived again. It's not a nice look. Why? Because some people feel like Mr. Ruto accepted some of the agreement he rejected last year. So some of it was just changed a little bit here, a little bit there. The words were changed, the wording were changed, and that's it. So people say no. That's what it is, fellas. Sierra Leone signed an agreement with the Russians. They're going to come and fish in Sierra Leone waters and create opportunities for them. Congo Brazzaville is also working with the Russians right now. Is it a good opportunity? Is it a good thing? Or is it blind from Africans to blindly follow the Russians? Let me know how you feel about this. Our support to the Kenyan people. We're going to talk about Togo. Some really bad things happening in Togo right now. Let me know how you feel about this. Again, fellas, we need your comments. Thank you very much. God bless.